Taking your Hawaii CDL test? Let's make sure you pass. Like, subscribe, and let's ride.
Question 1. Hawaii requires all CMVs to carry at least 3 emergency reflective triangles. True or false? True. These are part of the mandatory emergency equipment to warn other drivers during a breakdown. Question 2. Hawaii drivers must stop 5 feet from a railroad track when transporting Class 3 flammable liquids. True or false? False. Required stopping distance is between 15 and 50 feet. 5 feet is too close. Question 3. A loaded tanker is less likely to surge than an empty one. True or false? False. Liquid surge is most hazardous when tanks are partially full. Load movement can destabilize the vehicle. Question 4. Hawaii CDL drivers are allowed to use the hand valve for routine braking. True or false? False. The trailer hand valve is for testing brakes during inspections, not for normal driving. Question 5. Hawaii requires the inspection of glad hands for air leaks and secure seals during a pre-trip inspection. True or false? True. Glad hands must be checked for leaks, proper fit, and functional seals. Question 6. Hawaii requires school bus drivers to stop at all railroad crossings, even when not carrying students. True or false? True. School buses must stop at all crossings to maximize safety, regardless of passenger count. Question 7. The hazmat placard must be at least 8 inches square in Hawaii. True or false? False. Required placard size is 10.75 inches square with specified lettering size. Question 8. Hawaii allows CLP holders to operate a CMV without a CDL holder present as long as they're in training. True or false? False. A qualified CDL holder must be seated next to the CLP holder during operation. Question 9. Hawaii permits the use of digital emergency response guide ERG copies in place of printed ones. True or false? False. A printed ERG must be on board. Digital copies do not substitute for the hard copy. Question 10. Hawaii requires drivers to describe how they would perform a static brake test, even if they don't demonstrate it. True or false? True. Examiners require applicants to clearly explain the procedure to show understanding. Question 11. Hawaii CDL drivers may transport hazardous materials in tunnels without restriction. True or false? False. Tunnel travel with hazardous materials is subject to local and federal restrictions, often limited by the type and amount of material. Question 12. Hawaii CDL holders are required to maintain a valid medical card at all times unless exempt. True or false? True. Without a valid certificate, drivers can be placed in non-certified status and disqualified. Exemptions are rare and specifically defined. Question 13. Hawaii allows you to take the hazmat knowledge test before completing the TSA background check. True or false? True. You may take the test first, but the endorsement is not issued until the background check is completed and approved. Question 14. Hawaii requires air tanks to be drained manually at the end of each day. True or false? False. Draining is required, but many systems have automatic drain valves. Manual draining is needed only when automatic drains aren't installed. Question 15. A single missing bolt on a suspension mount is acceptable if the remaining bolts are intact. True or false? False. All mounting bolts must be present and tight. A missing bolt is a disqualifying safety issue. Question 16. Hawaii CDL applicants can use any vehicle, regardless of configuration, for their road skills test. True or false? False. The test vehicle must represent the class of license. Using a non-representative vehicle may result in a restriction. Question 17. A cracked or leaking exhaust system is acceptable if it's outside the cab area. True or false? False. Any exhaust leak is dangerous due to carbon monoxide risk and is not permitted. Question 18. Hawaii requires a tanker endorsement even for drivers hauling empty tanks. True or false? True. If a tank can hold more than 119 gallons, the tanker endorsement is required, even when the tank is temporarily empty. Question 19. If your ABS light stays on during the pre-trip, you may continue the test if everything else is working. True or false? False. A continuously lit ABS warning light is a disqualifying mechanical issue. The test cannot continue until it's fixed. Question 20. Hawaii school buses must always be evacuated in the event of a fire, even if smoke is not visible. True or false? True. Any sign of fire triggers immediate evacuation per safety procedures. Question 21. CDL holders in Hawaii can be disqualified for life if they use a CMV to commit a felony involving controlled substances. True or false? True. This follows federal disqualification standards. Serious CMV-related drug felonies can trigger a lifetime ban. Question 22. Hawaii's minimum vision requirement for CDL applicants is 20/40 in each eye. True or false? True. Applicants must meet 20/40 with or without correction and have at least a 70-degree field of vision. Question 23. Hawaii requires a new CLP application after 3 failed attempts at the skills test. True or false? False. The retest policy varies by class and test center. It is not automatically limited to 3 attempts. Question 24. It's okay to point at vehicle parts during Hawaii's pre-trip inspection without naming them. True or false? False. You must verbally identify and describe each part. Pointing alone won't earn credit. Question 25. Hawaii CDL applicants must provide proof of legal presence and Hawaii residency. True or false? True. Eligibility documents are required. P.O. boxes are not accepted as proof of residency. Question 26. In Hawaii, CDL applicants must be at least 21 years old to transport hazardous materials. True or false? True. Drivers under 21 are restricted to interstate, non-hazardous operation. Question 27. Hawaii allows drivers to take the hazmat test before passing the general knowledge exam. True or false? False. Endorsements are issued only after passing the general knowledge test. Question 28. In Hawaii, offset backing is included in the basic skills test for CDL applicants. True or false? True. Offset backing is a standard vehicle control maneuver that assesses positioning and precision. Question 29. Hawaii requires that placards be visible on all four sides of a vehicle transporting hazardous materials. True or false? True. Placards must be clean, legible, and visible from the front, rear, and both sides. Question 30. In Hawaii, school bus danger zones extend 15 feet in all directions. True or false? False. The defined danger zone is 10 feet in all directions. Question 31. During the pre-trip inspection, Hawaii requires drivers to check for missing bushings and broken leaves in the suspension system. True or false? True. A damaged suspension is a major safety hazard. You must inspect components such as spring hangers and U-bolts. Question 32. Hawaii allows a commercial learner's permit to be renewed only once. True or false? True. After one renewal, the applicant must start over with a new application. Question 33. The CDL General Knowledge Test in Hawaii consists of 50 questions and requires a minimum of 80% to pass. True or false? True. You must answer at least 40 of 50 correctly to pass. Question 34. Tank vehicles in Hawaii are defined as those transporting liquids or gases in containers of 119 gallons or more. True or false? True. This definition applies to both permanently mounted and temporary tanks and requires a tanker and endorsement when applicable. Question 35. You can skip mentioning the alternator bell during the engine compartment check if it looks intact. True or false? False. You must identify it by name and note that it's properly tensioned and undamaged to earn credit. Question 36. Hawaii CDL holders must notify their employer within 30 days of any traffic violation, even in a personal vehicle. True or false? True. This reporting rule ensures employers are aware of violations that affect driver records. Question 37. The fifth wheel locking jaws should be visibly closed around the shank of the kingpin during pre-trip. True or false? True. Locking on the tip is unsafe. Jaws must close around the kingpin shank for a secure connection. Question 38. Hawaii prohibits the use of air brakes on school buses. True or false? False. Air brake systems are permitted and commonly used. Inspection and operation procedures are included in the manual. Question 39. Hawaii CDL applicants must pass a skills test in the vehicle class they intend to drive. True or false? True. Testing in the wrong class leads to a license restriction. Question 40. Hawaii CDL drivers must carry a valid medical examiner's certificate unless it has been electronically filed with the DMV. True or false? True. Carry the paper certificate unless it's already on file and linked to your DMV record. Question 41. Hawaii's air brake test requires the low pressure warning to activate before the system drops below 60 psi. True or false? True. The warning light or buzzer must come on at or above 60 psi. Anything lower indicates a mechanical failure. Question 42. Hawaii CDL drivers may legally park a truck carrying explosives within 5 feet of an open flame if monitored. True or false? False. Parking near any flame source while carrying explosives is strictly prohibited regardless of supervision. Question 43. Hawaii's CDL skills test includes checking for steering free play beyond 2 inches on a 20-inch wheel. True or false? True. Examiners expect you to verify free play does not exceed 2 inches about 10 degrees on a 20-inch wheel. Anything beyond that must be repaired. Question 44. Hawaii's CDL test requires you to explain how to test the service brakes while moving. True or false? True. You must state that you'll apply the service brake at low speed about 5 miles per hour to check for pulling or delayed response. Question 45. A combination vehicle in Hawaii is defined as having a GCWR of 26,001 pounds or more, with the towed unit over 10,000 pounds. True or false? True. This matches Hawaii and federal Class A CDL definitions for most tractor-trailer setups. Question 46. CDL drivers in Hawaii must retake the hazmat test every time they renew their license. True or false? True. Renewal requires a hazmat knowledge retest and updated TSA security threat assessment. Question 47. During coupling, the trailer should be slightly higher than the fifth wheel. True or false? False. The trailer should be slightly lower, so the tractor lifts it during backing, ensuring proper alignment and locking. Question 48. CDL applicants in Hawaii are not required to provide proof of U.S. citizenship or lawful permanent residency. True or false? False. Applicants must provide proof of lawful status in the United States. Question 49. When checking the parking brake, Hawaii requires the driver to gently pull forward to confirm it holds. True or false? True. This is a standard part of the brake check to ensure the parking brake engages and holds properly. Question 50. Hawaii prohibits CDL holders from using radar detectors in commercial vehicles. True or false? True. Radar detectors are illegal in CMVs and enforcement applies in Hawaii.
You're building knowledge fast. Keep going with the next set of questions or download the cheat sheet to lock it down.